Bashar.
And you good day.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I have a question about genetics
Yes.
and intuition.
Yes.
I've been taking a course on beginning genetics at Stanford.
How exciting.
It's fun.
Oh, I believe you. It's fun.
Anyway, I've been one of the exercises in the first part of the course was putting together if your mom and dad had certain genes, whether the trait would come through whether it was recessive or dominant.
Yes.
So I was thinking, I wonder if intuition is carried along the genetic line.
Yes.
And in my family, my grandmother, I believe, is intuitive. I have aunts that are...
Are you intuiting that?
Yeah. Well, I know that for sure because they have dreams that come true. And
Yes.
my grandmother had dreams that come true.
Yes.
But out of my cousins,
Yes.
they don't talk about it.
Yes.
And my brother and I, we have the same mom but different dads.
Yes.
We're both intuitive.
Yes.
One sister, I don't think she is, and one sister definitely isn't.
All right.
So that would mean...
At least not that she is exhibiting.
She's not exhibiting. She won't talk about it.
All right.
But so does that mean intuition is recessive and not dominant? Because if it was dominant, then everybody in my family would have some degree of it.
Yes, in general, but that's oversimplistic. Because there are many other factors that determine whether or not whatever might be in the genetic code would be recessive or dominant. And a lot of it has to do with themes that people choose to explore in having a physical incarnation.
So does that mean it could be dominant, but because
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying it has to happen this way, but sometimes it does happen this way because people on your planet, when they don't know what the tools are to make the shift, will, from a higher level, choose to have a certain experience that will shift them, that will allow what might have been dormant to suddenly become dominant. So, for example, you hear stories where people do not express or experience the idea of any kind of psychic functioning throughout most of their lives or a large part of their lives, and suddenly they are in what you call an accident. And after the accident, suddenly they're psychic this and intuitive that, because they have, in a sense, shifted themselves in such a way that now is the time for that particular genetic trait to become dominant, when it wasn't time before. They have flipped a switch. They've turned it on. Always the potential was there, but it may not always be turned on. It may be somewhat dormant. And only when the timing is appropriate do they then create a scenario that allows them to flip that switch. So that may or may not happen in someone's life, but that's usually an indication, since they didn't exhibit it before and thus exhibit it after the accident, that it's always been there, it just wasn't switched on. You follow?
Yep, I think that makes sense because I don't think I exhibited any intuitive abilities as a child, and I sort of thought, well, it just sort of passed me by like my other cousins. But then after 2012, it sort of went into overdrive.
All right. Well, you took advantage of the idea of that ending of one cycle and the beginning of another to switch it on.
Right.
Without necessarily having to damage yourself to do so.
Right. And so my other question related to that is my brother told me a couple years ago, and you've told me that I have hybrid children and everything.
Yes.
And he was visited.
Yes.
But I don't get, and he and my other two sisters were visited, and we don't live together because we had separate families and everything. But
yes. That doesn't stop them.
No, I know. Did they choose us because we have intuition?
You chose yourselves to be part of the program, and they chose you because you have certain kinds of genetic factors that are required for the creation of the template that would allow the hybrids to be built on that template that would give them some of those particular traits, yes.
But he was visited, where
Yes.
I don't remember my visitation.
That's all right. You don't have to.
Except I sort of remember it being beamed up, and I actually thought I was astral traveling at a young age, and I didn't realize I was actually being abducted. But
All right. Yes.
but I don't think they have children,
Doesn't matter.
but I do.
Doesn't matter.
So how does that make sense with the
There
genetics?
can still be people who have certain genetic traits that can be added to the template, whether they themselves have children or not. Not everyone participates in the hybridization agenda in the same way. Some people don't necessarily give their DNA in that sense, but they have certain energy vibrations that will allow them to teach the hybrid children how to assimilate into your society more smoothly.
So why were they visited? Why did they have the visitation?
Well, there may be a number of different reasons. It can be for the extraction of genetic material. It can be to bring someone up to the ships to teach the children to create a class. It can be for a number of different things.
And so they took my DNA, but they didn't take theirs, but there could have been other reasons
But
why.
they can still read their frequencies.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to necessarily always be physical DNA to be able to incorporate a particular frequency of energy into the overall template. It just depends on what's been chosen and what's needed.
Because my brother's theme is he's really into Billy Myers, which sort of, like me, came, I think, later in life, too.
Yes.
It's sort of interesting. Anyway, so my third question, final question, is you always talk about dreaming and how your civilization, I forget what you call it, is in some dream state.
Yes, we live in a dream state lucidly because we understand that physical reality is also just a dream.
So I was wondering, because all of my ET alien experiences have happened in a pure waking state.
Yes.
And I don't remember, or I must be dreaming, but I don't have any experiences, or I don't remember my dreams.
That's all right.
That's okay?
That's okay.
Do I need to try to, because I'm like, maybe I need to try to get into this lucid state?
Well, there are many ways to achieve that. Again, you can become simply lucid in the physical dream, if you wish,
How do I do that?
by following the formula. Act on your highest passion to the best you're able with zero assumption as to the outcome.
But what would it mean to be, so you would be lucid but awake, not dreaming?
You are dreaming right now.
No, I know. Yeah, but
So become lucid in this dream means you understand that physical reality and experience and perceive physical reality to be a dream, an extension of your consciousness.
I sort of think of that anyway, because I have such
It's not about thinking about it. It's actually about experiencing it that way.
well, I have a sort of a wild, crazy thing with ETs and aliens anyway, and it's fine in my waking state. And I always wonder if it would get even weirder if my dream state. So I'm actually fine with just having it in my waking
My
state.
strongest suggestion would be don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just follow your passion to the best you're able. No insistence on a particular outcome. Everything that needs to happen that's relevant for you will happen in perfect timing. You're overthinking it a bit.
Thank you. I do that a lot.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.